unfair law. Okay. Likewise, in a Muslim domain where the law of Islam, when it was applied, there is so much charity. There is so much charity that no one has the grounds to steal from anyone. There was a time in the Muslim civilization, near the end of the first century of Islam, when Muslims had charity, they offered it to the community, no one was claiming it. Imagine if the British government announced today that every single person on the door will give you £100 next week just as a gift from the government. You just have to do, for example, maybe you just have to go and run around the block. To improve your health, we want to encourage running, to run around the block and come and claim your £100. How many people do you think will be running?
No.
Sorry?
Pretty much.
No, believe me. Majority of Britain will be running because majority of Britain is not rich. People are struggling with money, right? £100. Yeah, £100. Now, there came a time in the Muslim history. There came a time in Muslim history when people were so satisfied with the level of charity and the welfare state stipends that they had no reason to steal anything. So if you steal in that community, right, then the penalty is very harsh. Okay. Well, if you are a professional thief, then the penalty.
Hand off.
If you are
Does anybody else agree with that? Hand off.
No one agrees with it. No. Wait. Why? If you will ask, no.
Ask the victims. Ask the victims.
Do you ask the victims?
Yeah, ask the victims.
No, wait.
If it was the right
Let
thing
me
to
tell
do?
you something.
If a thief broke
What?
into
No, wait. Can you talk to
broke
me?
into my
Can you
house,
talk?
I
No,
wouldn't
can you
want
talk to me? Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you.
wouldn't wanna know.
Let me talk to you.
No.
No.
Educated.
No, let me talk to you.
Sorry.
Let me talk to you. Do you know Saudi Arabia? I'll give you an example. By the way, this law is there as a deterrent. It is hardly applied. It is only applied on fools who go and steal in a state where they don't need to steal. For example, okay, in Saudi Arabia, there was a time when people would leave their shops open, loaded with gold. Did you know that?
I could imagine.
I don't know. My father is a witness. My father was there in the 70s in Saudi Arabia when King Khalid was governing. Okay, my father witnessed it with his eyes. Jewelers would leave the shop to go and pray because wait, listen. Are you listening? Yeah. Okay. Show me a society in the world where you can do that. Show me a society in the world where you can do that. Yeah. There is not a society on the planet. This form of security is unprecedented, partly because of the law is very, very harsh, no doubt. The law will treat a professional thief very, very harshly, no doubt. You're absolutely right when you say that this is a very harsh punishment. Secondly, it protects people. Yeah, very harsh, no doubt. Very, very harsh. You steal someone's gold, you steal someone's car, you steal someone's belongings that doesn't belong to you, and you don't need to steal. The government is providing for you. You have no reason to be hungry. You have no reason. In fact, there were times when this penalty was lifted. When there was a famine in Medina at the time of Umar, the second caliph, there was a famine in Medina. He said, this penalty is lifted. People are hungry. So it doesn't work like that. You pick on one thing and say, oh, this is the
Things that people have got a problem with, innit?
Sorry?
That's the things that people have got a problem with.
They can have a problem with it. They are perfectly free to have a problem with it. No problem. But if they want, wait 1 second, brother. Let me see. If they want people stealing from them,
Everybody's stealing.
Have you been to South Africa?
No, I haven't been to South Africa.
Wait,
one second. I don't want no one stealing from me. But if someone stole from me, I wouldn't want his hand chopped off.
What would you do then?
What do you mean? What would I do?
What would you do to
I'd
him?
like him to be educated. To be honest.
Okay.
I'm a loving person.
Okay.
I'm a loving person.
You plenty of thieves out there who would be happy to be educated. They would say, he's stolen your wallet. No. He's stolen your Rolex from you. Can you please educate me? He's picked up on the kettle. You see, and then he gets education for you. Next time he will steal your pants as well. He will steal everything you have.
I'm not an idiot though for him to do that.
You said if someone stole your stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine someone stole all your life savings and you were suddenly left homeless. How would you feel? You want them punished, right?
Oh, mashallah. How you returned, yes?
I wouldn't want them to get their hands chopped off.
But like jail, for example, you would be okay with that?
Whatever, it's not going to make stuff come back, to be honest with you.
It
so
isn't.
Go ask
No,
a
no,
man
no.
Wait,
two months ago.
This is your opinion.
It is
You're
my opinion. Yeah,
absolutely
yeah,
right.
it's
Look,
my opinion.
you have the right to hold your opinion.
Yeah.
You have the right, absolutely.
Yeah.
No one is forcing you to accept Islam or Islamic opinion.
No,
No problem.
I'm just asking you
But
about it.
Muslims, for example, around the world, they read the holy book. The holy book has a law in it. And they believe this law is from God. They believe this law is actually revealed by God. And they want to believe in it. At least have the courtesy and the decency to see, you know what, you guys believe this is from God and you believe in this law, no problem. This law is for you. You keep that law. I don't agree with it. You keep that law. What's wrong with that attitude? What's wrong with that? They believe it's from God. They believe, like the Jews, they believe the Torah, which has very, very harsh penalties in it. Torah.
Are they carrying out those things? So the Torah's got
When
harsh penalties. Are they carrying out those things?
when the Jews were in government, they were carrying out the Christians were carrying out these punishments. Christians were doing it. Okay, so the point is, the point is, you want to follow your philosophy, which you have come to believe in. No problem. That's your choice. You are an intelligent gentleman. You want to follow that. No problem. 2 billion people on the planet have chosen to follow a particular philosophy. They believe it has.
that.
Sorry?
I respect that.
Yeah, touch on that.
You know what it is?
Touch on that.
It's
That's
when
it.
people feel like it's infringing
Yeah.
on their way
you,
of life.
You are perfectly allowed to disagree. You can say, oh, this is harsh, man.
No,
This
you
is
know what
crazy.
I mean?
This doesn't make sense to me. No problem. It doesn't make sense to you, but to 2 billion people, it makes perfect sense. We will have a peaceful world when we tolerate each other. When we start to say, okay, you know what? This is your view. I don't see eye to eye with you, but at least I don't have to follow that view. I don't have to follow that view. And Islam has always allowed that freedom. Okay, when Muslims were governing much of the world for over 1,000 years, there were Jews and Christians living under Muslim domain, within the protection of Islam and Muslims. The Jewish people survived extinction, destruction, because Muslims protected them as a minority. And the Jews lived by their own laws in Muslim lands. There are plenty of histories written by historians on the Jews of Turkey, on the Jews of Middle East, on the Jews of Spain, until the Almohads came in. Okay, an extremist group came in and they disturbed the order, right? So, and we had those disturbances from time to time. But if you look at the Jewish people, the reason they have the Torah and the Talmud is because Muslims facilitated that peace and security for them, that they can actually write those books. Some of the major scholars, the poets, the researchers were born during the Muslim period in Muslim lands. Likewise Christians, right? Many Christians, they flourished within the Muslim lands. These laws are not applied on them. They don't have to follow these laws. No. Sharia is for Muslims. It is for Muslims. They have chosen to put their law upon themselves. Let them have it. If they choose it, it's their philosophy. Let the liberals have their philosophy and live by it. Let the seculars have their philosophy and let them live by it. Okay? If the Western countries have chosen a particular system of law, let's say liberalism or hedonism or utilitarianism, whatever the philosophy underlying these laws is, let them have it. Let them have it. So this is how we will have a peaceful world. When you will impose Islam on a people, when you will impose liberalism on a people, when you will impose countries and kill 2 million people and ask them to be democratic, that's when people start to have problems. You cannot impose democracy on people. You cannot impose Islam on people. You cannot impose secularism or communism or socialism on people, because what will you get? You will get Iraq, you will get Syria, you will get communist China, you will get communist Russia, you will get Pol Pot, you will get Chairman Mao and Stalin and Lenin and Hitler and Mussolini. This is what you will get, right? So we don't believe in a world like that. We as Muslims stand distinctly on this point, that Islam cannot be forced upon the people, even those who are living under the domain of Islam. In fact, it is upon Muslims to protect minorities. Did you know that Christians within Muslim lands, they can farm pigs, they can have wine factories, they can have wine factories producing wine, alcohol, drinking, getting drunk in Muslim lands governed by Sharia. This happened historically in Spain. This happened during the Ottoman period. This happened even in India, right? Where Christians were farming pigs and they were eating pigs there. And a Muslim police would have to protect a pig farm if it's under threat by the Islamic law. So Sharia, my friend, is not a small dot.
Chopping hands.
Or chopping hands or chopping penises, yeah, because that's also, circumcision. People put it crudely, yeah. That's not Sharia. Circumcision is not the only part of Sharia. It goes beyond that. It is a system that produced the Muslim civilization from Spain to China. Study it. For over 1,000 years, this system, this civilization dominated the world, and it produced a magnificent example for human history to come together and live in peace. And believe me, and this is not propaganda. What I'm saying is not propaganda. This is based upon historical sources. You want me to give you sources? I'll give you the books, names of the books. Go and study them, and you will see.
Thank you very much for taking your time to speak to me. I really appreciate it.
So now we are in agreement. You have no problem with Muslims following their...
I never had no problem with anyone. I was just asking you questions that was on the
No
screen.
problem. I appreciate your questions,
Yeah.
and I have no problem with anything you want to follow for yourself. It is your life. You can do what you want.
Maybe
Okay?
I'll go and learn something. And I'll come
Yes,
back and
yes.
ask you something.
Likewise,
Good.
you as a good,
Learning is good.
decent gentleman,
Knowledge
if
is good.
Muslims choose to follow a particular philosophy, a law for themselves, you should tolerate that, even if you don't agree with it, because that's human decency.
Like the punishment. Chop it up.
Yeah, no, you don't have to agree with it.
Chop.
Look into it. Look into it.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. Anyway, I
It's
really
just not
appreciate it.
chopping hand. There are rules.